I don't know, but
No, you know what you need, Chantal? You need to get your butt out of the Middle East. You need to go back to Canada, and you need to start living a life that isn't just a big scam. I mean, this is silly. You're going to be 40 years old. You're out here, I mean, following some 29-year-old thinking that he's going to love you and marry you and make a life with you and whatever. Girl, come on. He laughs at you. He makes fun of you. I mean, why do you think you're over there with him? Because you guys are living it up? I mean, yeah, you really look like you're living it up. You really look like you're happy. What you need to do is you need to go back to Canada. You need to start putting in hard work. And you need to, if a relationship is really what you want, if that's your end game in life, I know it is for some people. If that's really what you want, someone to love you, someone to call you baby, someone to give you affirmations, whatever. I mean, slow steps. I mean, whatever. Get on the dating apps, work on yourself, get back to a point where you can walk for more than a minute without getting dizzy. I mean, that would, if I were that in that place, that would be my number one priority. Not who's going to call me baby when I put my head down at night. I mean, girl, come on. I mean, you're not going to be able to heal in this environment, let alone thrive. You're talking about energy. You're sitting here telling us how you're about to fall asleep.
So you're getting help. And you want to dunk on Chantel? And that's why I think Shannon and FFG's chemistry is so beautiful, because they're so similar. FFG has to be the hero. That's why she has to always dunk on Chantel with something. Like when she did the thing with BBJ, I stand on this. She did her big one. She did her big one with that one, especially with the way Chantel was running her mouth, talking about FFG's dogs and all. When I saw her pull that off, I said, leave it to Chantel to have me applaud FFG. I was pissed. I was like, oh, this was so good. She trolled the fuck out of you. Oh my God. So, just so we're clear, and you heard it here first. What happened with BBJ, rescuing BBJ? The BBJ rescue to FFG will be with the 89 LBs are to Amber. You will always hear about it for years to come. Always. That's never going to die. She did her big one. She had to make it public. And for those saying, oh, it's for the money, I think you guys forget, I've said this before, multiple things can be right at once. She did her big one and definitely helped BBJ, because at this point, I think almost anybody's better than Chantel. But yes, of course it was for the money. If it wasn't for the money, she wouldn't have made it public. Of course it was for the money. Are you kidding? The bitch held she shopped for BBJ's collar on stream. She shopped for a cat to get a Gucci collar for a cat. Of course it was for money. But I'm not going to take away the fact that, like, at least she got BBJ. But yes, it was for money. Yes, it was for content. Are you crazy? That is her 89 LBs, bitch. She is never letting that go. That will always be content in some way.
Isms. So, French fried girls should be worried because Chantal was threatening to sue again. Shadowed that she might have returned to Canada to handle some other business, and she would handle that while she was there. I would be terrified if I was French fried girl. So terrified. This is the woman who couldn't even make a vet appointment, and she's going to coordinate a multi-person lawsuit because she felt duped about her cat being given to somebody else. By her to somebody else. But she couldn't tell you who because the selfish bitch wouldn't even walk down the stairs to go say bye. She handed it to Pete's. Again, many reasons we can't follow through with our commitments. So, and Chantal doesn't have much tolerance for distress or discomfort. If something isn't exactly the way she wants to eat it, she's not going to eat it. If it's not the right temperature, she's not going to eat it. So you would think someone as large as her would be much more picky. But, or would be much less picky. But actually, some of the more morbidly obese people I know are rather picky about their food. And, like other folks who deal with addiction, can get pretty nasty if they don't get what they want. How many people think that they've probably fought about food a couple times already? I'm sure he was fine with her coming over, but she farted out a bunch of promises initially that she was I'm gonna go to the gym and lose weight, and it'll be great, and I'll be going to the beach, and we'll be travel beezing. If you're too fat for a plane, you gotta do something. because now you can't even get out of there in a hurry if you need to. There's no shame in buying 2 plane seats if you need them, but if you don't like that you need them, or that you're cutting it close to needing them, whose job is it to change the shape of Chantal's body? Yours? Mine? A pill? Some Ozempic? No, it comes down to Chantal and what she chooses to do. At this point, she's had more resources and opportunities and access to treatment over the years that most people don't give a shit how she feels, or that she probably can't handle all of her ADLs maybe on her own, because she was always such a nasty, self-centered person that her discomfort brings people pleasure. We've heard of Schadenfreude. You know, it's the same sort of thing. I don't
So we saw some boats pass by while we were hanging out by the riverside and decided after we were done hanging out by the river to see if we could find a dock and take a boat ride ourselves. On our way,
it was his hard-earned money to try to buy her food that would support her health. And then either she ordered it without him, or he came to reason of, look, I don't love you so much that $250 isn't worth risking your health to me. So if you really love me, Chantal, really, really love me, you'll go on there, eat yourself half to death, and give me the cash. So, I don't know. And she wants privacy. Okay. And where's your husband? Where's your husband? Where's your husband? Where's your husband? He's out with the boys. Thailand, from what I understand, has a very, very active sex scene. So, I'm sure he'll text you. But at any rate, this week we're going to... But she's sitting there, not a lot of people around, but it was the old eyes darting. Remember the outhouse? Or going for Burger King and then sitting in the parking lot, full face of makeup, looking all over the place to see who's looking and who's watching. She's out proud and doesn't care, but hawks like she's ashamed of what she's engaging in. So when she's sitting there with Sala eating, and there's people, you know, not a lot of people, because they go everywhere when it's closed. She's afraid of people, and they want to be able to film, and they're weird. They're weird. She likes getting attention, but standing out doesn't really, like, I think she probably feels like people are staring, because they are staring. It's a spectacle. She's 4 times the size of a normal woman. So I think people are going to stare. That shouldn't be unexpected. Is it rude? Is it cruel? I don't know. Bottom line, it shouldn't be unexpected. And to act shocked would be kind of stupid as well. You've read about it a little bit and saw it on TikTok. Please look better after yourself. Take better care of yourself. If not you, for your husband that you told us you loved so much. How much do you love him if you're willing to eat yourself to death because it's too difficult to try to get better beyond 36 hours? If you're not a 12-stepper, but the bondage of self. She's so obsessed with meeting her own wants and needs that she, to her inadvertently, steps on people and hurts people in that way. There's another side of Chantal that is a complete sociopath and pretty much doesn't care about feelings, doesn't know how to act. That's why we had the wedding cake and candles and she erupted like she was going to shit her pants, because she doesn't know what happiness feels like, so she doesn't demonstrate what it looks like. She doesn't know love. She doesn't know any of those feelings. And so with all this spinning in her head, her marriage on the line, her citizenship being up, she goes on a diet.
One, I'm pretty, okay? That has a lot, and I don't mean that to be conceited. I'm being very matter of fact. Being pretty gets you a lot of privilege. I'm just saying, you can get away with a lot if you're pretty. Number one, I'm pretty.
Okay, guys, so this is the trailer for Femme. It's been released in Europe, but it's out. It's a thriller, and I've seen it. It's a fantastic film. It is out in Spain, and it is out in the US on March the 22nd. So here is the trailer.
his high heels. Well, you can turn around if you're a fucking man. You're letting them win.
How you want to deal with that?
I think you're a nice looking lad. On your front. I'm a nice guy. If you disrespect me, fuck you up. I get that. Yeah, I'm the same. Oh, you know. You're a fucking big man. I best remember not to fuck with you then.
Hi guys, and welcome to Taylor Talk. So, today I wasn't even going to do a video tonight because I'm going to do the hate comments one, and I was kind of too tired to do the editing tonight. So, I wasn't actually going to do a video today, and then I saw this little snippet on Twitter about Foodie talking of comparing like her sister being conceived to her being conceived. And guys, I don't know if you remember, but there was that whole thing with the Queen's Court and Kia and T.S. Madison and how that all fell apart. And a TikToker kind of referenced it as like the Bitter Bitch Chronicles, when Kia would go off on one. And every time I listen to Foodie talk about her sister or her relationship with her sister, I feel like it's an episode of the Bitter Bitch Chronicles. And Foodie Beauty is really one bitter, overfed, overstuffed, bitchy woman when it comes to her sister. And it's so weird. Like, this woman is 40 years old and has this one-sided rivalry with her sister, who's like 14 years younger. It's really pathetic, but I don't expect anything less from a misogynist like Foodie. She hates women, including the women in her own family, it seems. Okay, so I'm just going to read the Twitter comments. This is from Holly Go Heavy. If someone plans a teenage pregnancy when they are either trapping someone or you lack such self-worth, that you think that a baby will give you purpose. Either way, Foodie Beauty is a product of idiocracy. Future Becky Al Rafe says, girl, it's not healthy to be this old and this jealous of your little sister and be this jealous. And I totally agree. So I'm just going to show you this short little clip of Foodie basically comparing how they were conceived. Okay.
She was basically an accident. Like, they were happy when she was pregnant, but it wasn't planned.
Okay, but so what if she wasn't planned? Like, her mother was obviously in a good place with her stepdad, and they raised a baby and they loved her and took care of her. What's wrong with that?
Like, I was actually planned, and I was a teenage pregnancy.
And this is the problem. She says this like it's a flex. Like it's a flex that allegedly her mother tried to trap her dad at the age of 16, and her mum was a baby that had a baby. She says that like it's a flex. Let me just, it reminds me of the Nader situation, and she was trying to tell everybody before we saw him that he was like this ripped Adonis that was so sexy. Like, let's go back.
Planned. Like, I was actually planned, and I was a teenage pregnancy.
How is that something to be proud of? How is that something to, how is being a planned baby with a teenage pregnancy something to be planned of? Something to be proud of? Like, you, on Alive, she has talked about her mother struggling to raise her and having 3 jobs to raise one baby and herself so that she could get a place of her own, to raise Foodie. She's talked about having to be technically raised with her grandmother because her teenage mother found it so hard to cope, and she says it like it's some kind of flex that because she was wanted, that makes her sister's conception somehow inferior because she was an accident baby. Let's replay this again.
She was basically an accident.
But she was a happy accident. But she was but she was a fantastic accident. And obviously your parents were, your mum and your stepdad were in a great place, and they raised her and they have money and resources. And what kills Foodie is that her little sister had her dad in her life. That's what kills her. That's why she's so like, oh my God, she was an accident. She wasn't really meant to be here.
Like, they were happy when she was pregnant, but it wasn't planned. Like,
so, like, you say that like unplanned babies can't be blessings.
I was actually planned, and I was a teenage pregnancy.
You were planned, but your mother, I mean, Foodie has gone live saying that, like she said on a live, that her family were horrified when her mum got pregnant with her. When Shmi got pregnant, her family were horrified, and they all tried to, she said this on a live, that they all tried they all begged Shmi to get her aborted. So what, like, because they knew the struggle that Shmi was going to go through as a 16-year-old baby having a baby. They all tried to get her aborted. So I don't know why she says this. Like, my mother, my 16-year-old child of a mother, she wanted me so that she could bag my dad, and it didn't work. But at least I was wanted. Yeah, but she was struggling for the next 18 years. I mean, what? How is this a flex, Foodie?
She was basically an accident. Like, they were happy when she was pregnant, but it wasn't planned. Like, I was actually planned, and I was a teenage pregnancy.
She says that like she's so... She says that like she wants like a tiara and a bunch of flowers. Like, you do realise that as a teenager, your mother's brain... You do realise that your mother's brain was all over the place. As a teenager, hormones, she desperately wanted to keep this boy in her life. And it's like, your mother had bad judgment. She had bad judgment. She got knocked up. Like, and oh my God. And you're acting like your mother was in such a good place. Your mother struggled for years. You admitted that your mother struggled for years with you. And it's just so weird as to look back as a 40-year-old woman and just say, well, at least my mother wanted me. But yeah, those were probably the most trying times of your mother's life. Do you know how hard it is as a child to raise a child? I just don't understand. She's so smug over the most weirdest shit. Like Nada, she was smug. Cheating on Pete, she was smug. Cheating on BB, I'm sure she was smug, because she loves cheating on guys because it gives her that dopamine effect of being wanted. So she loves cheating on guys. That's a flex. You know, using Pete and sucking up all his resources and sucking up all his money, throwing Pete away and calling him a ball and chain when she had Nada. That was a flex. Having Nada and saying that he was so sexy and women were jealous of her. Well, Diddy was. But treating, you know, acting like Nada was like Henry Cavill, you know, or Chris Hemsworth, you know, that was a flex. You know, having your teenage mother like struggle to raise you and give up her education to be a full-time mother. How is that a flex? How is that a flex? How is that something to brag about? Your teenage mother had to put her life on hold for the next 18 years to raise you, and you weren't the easiest child to raise. She was a single mother with a really spoiled, delinquent child who had to go into to like different care homes, so because she couldn't handle you. So how is this a flex? Like, she is so proud over the weirdest things. You know, I mean, your mother obviously deserves an applause, but Jesus Christ, like, how are you going to go, my mother wanted me, and my little sister with her stepdad and my older, and my older, more mature mother and my stepdad, that was an accident. But my 16-year-old, infantile mother that was trying to get my dad, that was in a really bad place. Yeah, that's a flex. That was a good. Like, it's just really weird to me how she can look back at the past and like talk about it like it was like just complete sunshine and rainbows and roses for her mother. Well, it's obvious that her mother was struggling, working full time and being on welfare and having to deal with you. Wow. God, Jesus. You did say in Alive, her whole family struggled. Your whole family struggled with you because a child having a child it may have been planned for your mother, but it wasn't planned for your family, and it was a struggle. And that's probably the reason why they spoil you so much now, is because of the way that they treated you before. They wanted you gone before. And obviously, your mother was stubborn, your mother kept you, and they felt so guilty that they just kind of what's that called? They coddled you and they spoiled you so much because they were guilty about pressuring your mother to get an abortion. And that's one of the reasons why Foodie is so spoiled and so immature now, because she's been treated like a little princess in adulthood because they wanted to get rid of her as a child. Okay, guys, there's another thing that I quickly want to talk about while I'm on here, is Foodie saying that, I made a tweet that Foodie said that she didn't cheat on Salah and that she had the opportunity to, but she never did. Like, where have the opportunities come from? Like you literally went on Tinder worldwide. You went on Tinder worldwide. Nobody wanted you. Nobody wanted you in Canada. You went over to Kuwait. Nobody really wanted you in Kuwait except for Salah. You've hung around with all of Salah's friends when you first went there. Nobody was really interested in you, and the wives got tired of you really quickly. So, like, what opportunities to cheat? Where did that come from? Where did you have any opportunity to cheat? Who was flirting with you and gave you any opportunity to cheat? It is so nobody's interested in you like that, Foodie. You've blown yourself up so much. Nobody's interested. Not to mention that you're also a really hateful sociopath. But that aside, people would overlook that if you were cute and skinny. If you were slim and cute, people would overlook the fact that you're hateful and crazy. But where have the opportunities come? Where have you gotten the opportunity to cheat in the last year? Nobody, nobody even knows where you are. You could pass away in that fart box. Nobody would even know for the next 3 years. Salah's the only one that cares that you're in the fart box, the shoe box in Kuwait. Where did you get the opportunity to cheat? I had the opportunity to cheat, but I didn't. When? Where? Who? Guys, I've said it before and I'll say it again. Allah, I feel like if Allah wanted to cheat with her, she would have cheated with Allah, and she would have thrown it in Salah's face when she found out about him cheating with Kybella. Foodie she'll take any opportunity to have sex with another guy because she loves to cheat. If Allah had gotten feelings and had been flirty with Foodie, she would have slept with him, knowing that he's married and that she's in this fake marriage situation. If Allah had come on to her, she would have bitten his hand off. Nobody really cares about her like that. Nobody is interested in her like that. Nobody. Zilch. No one. Nobody. Male, female, trans, non-binary, other. Nobody's interested. And that's a really bitter pill for Foodie to swallow, because Salah's cheating all around the place and cheating on every social media app, and there's nothing that she can do except leave or take him back, but she can't cheat back. she can't cheat as a response. And I think that's one of the reasons why she's pissed at him as well. Because with BB, with Pete, she could just cheat and like hoe herself around to everybody. And because she's so like overweight and she's just blown herself up that she doesn't even look human anymore. So nobody's interested. And I think that's also one of the many reasons why she's bitter and twisted. Okay, guys, that's the end of the video. I'll be making another one tomorrow. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening.